Quick update here. I pulled the original water pump, oil pump assembly out. Picked up another one from my buddy Craiginator on eBay. I installed that, fired the bike off, ran fantastic, no noises. I was able to do this all by just dropping the belly pan out of the bottom of the bike and servicing it right in place without doing anything else. I didn't show it because, there's really not much more to show at this point. After running, I see I have a tiny little oil leak. That could be the fact that I reused the oil pan gasket. If that's a problem, no big deal. I'll just pick up a new gasket and put it in. It might be a loose bolt. I'll check that. Find out where that little oil drop's coming from. Doing leak down testing again on all my new cylinders and pistons and rings, and as you can see, very little leakage now. Probably less than, well, definitely less than 10%. So I'm down at the bottom of the green. That was the same for all 4 cylinders. This is cylinder number 4. Alright, so that's what you want to see on a test like this. Very little leakage. So pretty happy with that. I'm going to pull this off, start buttoning this bike back up again, tighten things like throttle cables down, and I didn't bother attaching the choke cable, do that. Go through all the tubes and hoses one more time, make sure I've got them routed correctly, and also make sure that I've got all the clips and things in place on the hoses. Then the the air filter and such will go on. I gotta work up the electricals in the front, just tidy up the cables and get all that squared away. I am servicing my brakes. I'm not really going to do a video on these. There's not too much to it. Just, you pull these pistons out, replace all the O-rings that these pistons slide on. New fluid. I'm also putting some new lines on the bike. It's due for some new lines, so I picked up a group buy off the R1 forum for some friend Tubo lines. I'm looking forward to those coming in this week. Anyway, all that will go on, and then this bike will be on the road this week. Alright fellas, there it is. Bike is completely reassembled, back in final trim. Went on its first ride since the rebuild today, did about 80 miles on the bike. Ran absolutely fantastic. Noted every little tiny issue I could. I only really came up with 2. One is there's a little bit of slop in that throttle. I like zero, absolutely no slack whatsoever in that thing, so I need to take that up just a little bit. That will, taking the slop out of that throttle will really smooth you up on the bottom, especially on a torquey low-end bike like this. I did splurge, bought myself a Brembo RCS master cylinder and new Kevlar friend Tubo brake lines, both front and back, but that is not part of the engine rebuild. And oh my god, that brake is so much better than stock, it's not even funny. What was the other issue I had? My throttle slop a little bit. Oh, and it was a little tiny bit rough at idle. Probably not even enough to bother with in terms of getting the carbs back out. I might have a partially plugged pilot jet or something, but maybe next time I'm in there I'll go through that and deal with that, but it's not even bad enough to deal with. Yeah, at this point the project is completely done, and all that's left to do is ride the bike. And thanks for sort of watching the videos, and to all the guys on the R1 forum that inspired me to do this and helped me with answering questions along the way. I do appreciate it. There were quite a few things here in the last couple of weeks to get finished in terms of final trim, especially routing all the hoses and electrical and those heat shields. I actually forgot to put one back in, so I had to go back into the bike, pull the carbs back out another time just to get that heat shield down. But those are important. That's what protects all the wiring and the hoses from melting, so I didn't want to mess with it. But anyway, there you have it. 2000 R1, ready to put another 50,000 miles on that bike. I'm going to enjoy every single mile of it too. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Project is done.